Welcome to the MaryLee Herrmann Show. Ah! What? Oh, sorry for sneaking up on you like that, MaryLee. Occupational hazard. Call me Periwink. Well, listen, Periwinkle. No, just Periwink, as in wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You had your period, now you don't. You might get it again, or you won't. My period? I mean, I've missed a month here and there, but I'm sure that's just stress. Why would I not get my period again? And wait, who the hell are you? I'm your Peri godmother. I'll be flitting around over the next few years or months or could be a decade. You're just going to be hovering around like that. Yes, some women go through perimenopause rather quickly and some it takes a while. One woman, she took almost 11 years. One more month and I would have won that beautiful set of steak knives. Wait, Peri what? And scene. You've been introduced to Periwink, one of the characters from the one-woman show I'm writing. How this character came about is that in my early 40s, I went into my gynecologist and I was having symptoms that I didn't necessarily feel were related to my menstrual cycle, but she was kind of my GP too, so I just would tell her about any issues I was having. And I described, one was that my PMS, which is a very real thing, was really getting worse and tougher to work through. And I also was not sleeping very well. That was kind of a new thing. I thought, why am I not sleeping? And I thought for sure she was going to say it was anxiety. Well, based on what I told her, she said, oh yeah, you're probably, how old again? And I said, my early 40, 42, 43. And said, yeah, you're probably married, excuse me, can't even say the word. You're just in perimenopause. And I was like, what? Peri what? I'm too young for peri, whatever, any kind of menopause, whatever that is. It's like, nope, I got until I'm 50 to have to work through that or to figure that all out. Because it was something that, once you go through menopause, there's obviously no more bearing children. That was the big thing. That's the big thing. And I was a little, as she could tell, I was a bit visibly shaken. She did her best to calm me down, but I still felt like, I'm just this little kid and I have plenty of time. And not only was it about the question about whether to have children, but simply that to have the option to have babies. That it's like, well, wait a minute, having my period and being able to potentially bear children was what made me a woman, I felt at the time. And I felt it was a bit scary, not a bit scary, it was scary. I was really sad and scared that have I made all the wrong decisions? I felt, well, if I'm going through this thing that I'd never even heard of, and as it turns out, a lot of my friends have never heard of it either, because either I would ask other people about it, though to be honest, I was hush-hush for a while. I was in denial. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever this is, it's just, it's anxiety, no matter what she said. Yeah, maybe perimenopause is down the road. But then I had other friends ask me about it, so I realized, okay, you know what? I just have to accept that this is happening. And that I would go for a couple months without my period and feel like, oh my God, oh my gosh, this is, it's the change. Well, as it turns out with perimenopause, you are in menopause once you've gone through without your period for 12 months. So whenever it would get more than 2 months or so, I would really panic. It took about 7 years. During that time, I would go in and out of denial. And the problem with that was that then I just not facing the reality that I was never going to have kids, or was I not doing what it would take to have kids, because that would require quite a bit at this point. I didn't have a partner until later in my 40s, and not that you have to do it with a partner, but I have older brothers. I have guys that would have been great male role models for a child. However, I was not financially in a position to do that, and I'm not sure I was emotionally in a position to have a child. I'm trusting that if I was, I really would have gone down that road. My head and my heart were in another place, and that is on building a career. And I was concerned that if I didn't do that and continue to pursue that, then I would not able to be there wholly as a mother. And that was not something that I felt was fair to a child or myself. So in the perimenopause, I would stress, and I would feel as though, oh my gosh, what next? Like, okay, I'm going through this crazy tunnel, and sometimes there'd be a little bit of light flash in, and it's like, oh, okay, everything's going to be all right. And that the fact that it felt like a tunnel at all was sort of terrifying, because who knows what's at the other end, and why am I in a tunnel to begin with? Well, I realized I was in a tunnel because I put myself there. Instead of embracing it and educating myself about what perimenopause was at the time, most of what I know about perimenopause, I've learned since. And that's unfortunately why I wasn't able to really understand for almost 7 years of my life what my body is going through, and my head, my hormones, everything. I mean, it's all connected, it's all related. That would have affected every decision I made as far as career. That affected every decision I made as far as my health. I mean, it all is, I'm one package. I'm one package. And if I'm not accepting the fact that I'm in perimenopause and I'm not doing what I can to learn more about it and to make choices based on that knowledge, then I'm depriving myself of the best possible me I can be in that moment. And so, yeah, Periwink. she's just kind of that reminder. Now, I've since gone through through menopause. Now that's been about 6 years, but the fact that I really did come into this entire phase of my life and not know that was even going to happen, that I felt that I wasn't a woman anymore, and that could occur, was terrifying. So no more. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening to the MaryLee Herrmann Show, and hope you enjoyed meeting Periwink, and take care. Have a great day.